Jai Hind, Namaskar. In this video lecture, I am going to discuss the topic 3, that is classification of business activities, that is industry and commerce. Here we are going to discuss the different types of industry, that is the primary, secondary, and the tertiary. We should also understand the role of industry in any of the country. Like when we became independent, that time we were having very less industry, and our economy was basically dependent on the agriculture, and that was the reason we were a bit poor in the if we discuss about if we compare with the other developed countries. And here the problem was that when we become independent, we were using the Britishers, what they were doing, that the raw material, that was basically, if I'm talking specific example, like cotton was sent to the was exported to the Britishers, and finally after manufacturing the cloth, they were selling it here. So we should also understand that the country which is exporting the raw material, and the country which is exporting the finished goods. If we compare the economic level of those countries, the country which is manufacturing the finished good, their economic is better than the country which is supplying the raw material. That basic things we should understand here. So now let us see one by one what are the different kinds of industry here. So first of all, what is industry? Just definition of that we can see it here. The industry group of productive enterprises or organizations that produce or supply goods, services, or the sources of income. In economics, industries are generally classified as primary, secondary, and the tertiary. So we will see one by one. So primary industry is basically includes the economy that utilizes the natural resources of the environment, like forestry, agricultural, fishing, and mining. Generally, this particular sector is considered the most crucial in the developing countries and is relatively smaller in the developed nation. But at the same time, we should understand that if you compare the developed countries and the developing countries, here the developing countries having more such kind of industry. But that is why the economic level of that country is lower in comparison to the service sector I'm talking, that is the tertiary. So here, when we talk about the developing countries, the primary industry is usually the largest sector. When we speak of an example, livestock farming in Africa is much more important than that in Japan. So we can see it here. In a similar way, the whole of Wales dependent mainly on mining and is the primary source of economy there. This is the only sector in which the entire country of Wales can survive. And if we talk about our country, we are dependent on the agriculture. Here, let us try to understand that how the developed country they are using the technologies. Okay, so when you are using the technology or the machines, generally the dependent on the human, it is going to be minimum. So, but there are different aspect of this as well. Like if you are using more machine and the different type of technology to improve the production level. So we have realized nowadays that we are again going for the organic food. Organic food, that means we are much dependent on that. We are going to use we are not going to use the chemical in the production. If you are using the more and more machine, let me tell you that if you are using more and more machine, in that case also you are polluting the environment. That means one side the production level is going to be higher, but at the same time the environment you are going to pollute. That means you are playing with the environment. So that part also should be considered while you are improving the production, while you are improving the productivity. So secondary industries majority includes those industries which are involved in construction and the manufacturing. This industry usually utilizes the products from the primary industry to create several other utility products and also engage in their sales and export. So several of these industries produce a lot of waste materials that can lead to a considerable level of environmental issues and cause pollution. So you can guess here now that is why the most developed countries are more and more the polluting. Also, this sector requires a large level of energy as many factories and machines are needed to accomplish the works in the secondary industry. So that the cost we are bearing, that if you are technological advanced and you are more and more producing you are in the secondary industry, so definitely you are polluting the country as well. So definitely you are advanced, but at the same time that is the cost of the technological development. So the major examples of secondary industry are the plastic industry, the food industry, the home appliance industry, the textile and the leather industry, entertainment and gardening industry, personal care, beauty products industry, storage and the cleaning industry. The secondary industry is again divided into the heavy and light industry. The light industry usually requires a relatively smaller quantity of raw materials, lesser power, and the smaller area. The value of the produced products in the light industry is generally low and very easy to transport. This has a lesser environmental impact, and the most standard activity in these industries are manufacturing of food, beverages, home and the personal products, electronics, and clothing. So here we also knowing that about the electronics wastage, and with the low quality of electronics, like if I'm talking about the mobiles and all, and if it is going very soon, if it is getting unusable, that means the unserviceable it is becoming. So again we are playing with the environment, that more and more wastage, and where we need to dispose of. That question again arises here. The heavy industry involves several characteristics as heavy and large products. This involves more capital industry as compared to light industry and depends more on the work and investment. Construction, transportation, and manufacturing business, petroleum processing, manufacturing of machinery, ships, etc. The majority require equipment and capital. The more and more capital intensive it is. They are also often criticized for their high level of impact that creates on the environment. So you must be seeing that the developed countries are contributing more in the pollution, or that is going to create problem for the environment. So this is the tertiary industry. The next one it is the tertiary industry majority consists of a service sector. This would include several activities where the people usually offer their expertise and knowledge for improving productivity, potential performance and sustainability. The most prominent characteristic of tertiary sector is the production of several nature services that include advice, care, experiences, access, and discussion. And let me tell you here that the most developed countries of the world, even if you take the example of Singapore, USA, and all, they in that country the majority of the GDP contributes the tertiary industry. So that is also one of the indication of the developed countries. The services may also involve the distribution, transport, and the sales of goods from the production company to the consumers via different channels. The goods are transformed in the process, as in the restaurant industry, where the raw foods are used for cooking several dishes and serving the consumers. We can take so many examples here. The focus of the industry is more to interact with a lot of people, and the focus on customer service even more than the transformation of the different kinds of physical goods. There are several subcategories of the tertiary industry. Some of the major ones are jotted here. Just you can see the example here. The professional services, several occupations are included in the tertiary sector. The vast majority requires a special expertise and training in the sciences and arts. Some of the major professional services require specialized professional licenses, just like that of auditors, architects, lawyers, engineers, and the doctors. So you are also going to provide the legal services, so that will come under this territory industry. The other professional services also involve several specialized business supported, like a professional offering their services to the companies like tax consulting, IT services. The other professional in this category are dentist, administrator, nurses, pharmacist, and the surgeon. So there are so many examples here, and you must be seeing that means all the service sector related profession will come under the territory. Telecommunication is also the major. This is a sector that deals with the transmission of signs, signals, words, messages, and so on. You know already about this. The franchise is this is the practice of offering the right to use a specific business model and a specific brand for a certain interval of time for a particular franchise owner. This is an alternative for building commercial chains, the distribution of goods. Several countries has laws that strictly regulate the franchising industry. Public health, you can know the specialized professional area that concentrates on the preventing diseases, helps in prolonging lives. You can take the example of different hospitals, and you can also see here that our data about the how the different sector the industry contributes here. This is the Finance Commission of India, and they have contributed here. You can see the share of primary, secondary, and tertiary sector in GSVA current prices 2011 of the state was 9.6%, 46.3%, and the 34.3% respectively in 2018 and 19. The state ranks 19th position in India as far as the ease of doing business is concerned 2019. During the last 3 years, the year on our year tourist arrival is growing at pace of about 20%. In 2017, there were 6895234 domestic tourists and 890459 foreign tourists, which is more than the 4 times the population of the state. This is talking about the Goa state. Here, let me tell you that I have already uploaded one the the information about the different countries how they are performing in the different types of industry. So you can go through that one, and I have also uploaded one article so that you can see that one. So thank you so much.